Welcome to Complexity Made Simple. My name is Paul Allen, and the subject of today's video newsletter, well, we're going to take a look at Lean Six Sigma. Lean Six Sigma, what is it? Obviously, we've got Lean, we've got Six Sigma, and then a number of organizations have decided to put together what is Lean Six Sigma. Now I have to be honest, this will be slightly different depending on who you speak to. What I'll tell you is this: if you go to a Lean consultancy, it will be mostly Lean with a bit of Six Sigma. If you go to a Six Sigma consultancy, it will be mostly Six Sigma with a little bit of Lean. So I suppose this is just one version of what Lean Six Sigma could be. Now, in order to understand this, we have to understand what Lean does and what Six Sigma does. So let's do that first, and then we'll take a look and we'll see how the two fit together. So let's start by talking about, well, okay, let's put Lean here. Let's put Six Sigma over here. Okay, so what is Lean? What is Six Sigma? Okay. Now, to some degree, at the top of these two techniques is the same aim. They are just coming at it in a slightly different way, and that is they want to please the customer. So the centerpiece of both of these is the customer. So in one way, they are linked together. Now, Lean, first of all, Lean, what are you trying to do? You are trying to understand what the customer values. And then what you are going to do is you are going to make that value flow as fast as you can towards the customer. So what are you really interested in? Once you understand what the customer values, everything else is about time. How fast can you turn a customer's request for an order into finished goods leaving your factory? And that is what Lean is about. It's about understanding value, then making it flow as fast as possible towards the customer. Okay. So what's going on over here? Well, Six Sigma, slightly different. They talk about the cost of poor quality. So this really goes after money, all right? Now, why does the Six Sigma go after the cost of poor quality? Why does it go after money? Well, it's very simple. Motorola created the phrase Six Sigma, and Six Sigma is really a target. They created this target to aim for. Why was it all about the cost of poor quality? Because their whole problem, the problem for Motorola back in the early 1980s, was a quality problem. They were losing market share because the customer thought their quality stinks. So it was all about pleasing the customer. But in what way were they displeasing the customer? Poor quality. It was everything to do with poor quality. So they are going to chase the cost of poor quality. And because they are chasing the cost of poor quality, what is this typically all about? Well, it's about fixing production problems in lots of ways. It is technical problem solving. Although this could also be at the design level, because maybe you're designing technical problems into your products, but typically it's down at the manufacturing level. It's technical problem solving. It's typically about quality, because it's very easy to calculate the cost of poor quality when you're making defects. It's about quality. It's about error, removing error. It's about defects, removing defects. And that is what Six Sigma is brilliant at. It is world-class technical problem solving. It is based on physics, it is based on maths, and therefore it works. Yeah, it's world-class technical problem solving. Now I have to be honest, over here with Lean is a bit more all-encompassing than that, because when you are trying to make value flow, you are going to transform the way that the product flows through your factory, the way information flows through the offices. This is a much more all-encompassing business activity, much more so than what Six Sigma was about, because Six Sigma was about getting quality to be absolutely brilliant. So how do you make value flow? Well, typically you concentrate on three things. You concentrate on unevenness. Of course, in Six Sigma, that's variability. So again, there's a similarity here. You concentrate on something called overburden. A little bit of this is error. So overburden is often doing activities that shouldn't be there. Extra inspections, rework, that type of thing. Extra activities where an operator has to do a little repair operation. Thanks, Peter. Extra activities where an operator has to do a little repair operation before they can fit the parts together, because they don't quite fit, they haven't quite been made correct, and you've got this overburden, work that shouldn't be there. And finally, waste. Activities that the customer doesn't value. And of course this is what Lean is famous for, but to be honest, these two are probably more important than the 7 wastes. And the 7 wastes, they've been named. They are transport, inventory, although that's inventory you don't need. You always need inventory in a system to a lesser or greater extent. Motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, and finally defects. So let's have a look where Lean and Six Sigma are kind of coming together. Well, they're coming together there. Defects, they're coming together here, because that's really variability. And Lean is saying get rid of variability. And of course, they are both interested in the customer, although one comes at it from a money point of view, one comes at it from making the customer's order arrive as fast as possible with the minimum amount of activity that the customer doesn't value. This is about time, this is about money. So that's what they are individually. So now, how are you going to get Lean Six Sigma? Well, for me, I like this way of setting up the aim of what you're trying to do. The aim of what you're trying to do, making the customer's order full of value flow towards them as fast as you can possibly make it. And so for me, Lean Six Sigma would look like this. This would be my aim, overarching, for your continuous improvement, for your business strategy. We are going to chase these things away the Lean way. We are not going to do it monetarily, because if you chase money here, a lot of this you will not do, and you will not please the customer. You'll stop yourselves from doing it if you chase the cost of poor quality. So we are going to chase time, we're going to chase Lean. We will use the Lean tools where possible. So Paul, 5S, TPM, etc. Good workplace organisation, high junker boards, so that you can take the unevenness out of your planning, so you flatten the planning system. But of course, when we get technical problems, when we get defects, or when we get technical design problems, we will pull Six Sigma out of the box, and we will use Six Sigma under this attack, under this approach. If you try and mix these two approaches, money versus time, you'll get completely mixed up. So you have to make a decision, and I like to go and track time. I mean, the true cost of poor quality you can never work out anyway, to be honest. The true cost of poor quality is upsetting your customers so much you don't have any customers left and you go out of business. We don't need to calculate that. So why don't we go the other way? This is a more positive thing. We're heading towards pleasing the customer here, whereas what we're trying to do here is run away from upsetting the customer. I prefer to head towards pleasing the customer. There is an unlimited amount of pleasing the customer that's possible. So if you want to know what's Lean Six Sigma, it's that as an overarching aim, with the toolkit, the technical problem solving toolkit bolted in there, and then you've got Lean Six Sigma. And for me, that is the best way to do it. They work really well together, because down here at the defect level, Lean really isn't very powerful here. It doesn't have technical problem solving toolkit. It doesn't have maths and physics bolted into it. But Six Sigma has it in spades. So the weakness of Lean is matched by the strength of Six Sigma. So they work really well together, and that for me is the proper way to do Lean Six Sigma. Lean leads, Six Sigma helps. If you do it that way, you will make pots and pots of money.